Good morning, everybody, and welcome again to another Sunday Q&A. Here we go. Yeah, right. Off, out and running. January's still there. Nothing seems to be changing. Hopefully, we're all still surviving. Firstly, I'd like to say good to see Gold Member back on the scene. I'm concerned about you, my friend. You seem to disappear off there, but you come up in the comments on the video. So pleased you're out running. Hope it's still working out for you. Hope you're well. So what we're going to discuss this week, right? I launched that circuit app. I've been going on about it for a little while. I tried it before Christmas. I think it's very good. I've put it out to you guys. We had the general comment, other than the little whinge about the pricing, is it's very good. So I'm going to go ahead with it. They've been very kind. They've sent me some gear. I've got a t-shirt. There you go. In fact, I've got two t-shirts. And they're favourite colour. Navy's my favourite colour. Navy and a grey one. They give me a sweatshirt. They give me a cap, which is handy because my one, I've got a Detroit Tigers cap for two reasons. Firstly, when my father-in-law went out to America and the States, he went to Detroit and bought me back a Detroit Tigers t-shirt, which was massive. My daughter now sleeps in it as a nightie. And also because I didn't realise, but it's the same as Thomas Magnum's hat, which is blue. I ended up with a Detroit Tigers thing. But the new hat's pretty cool. And it's sort of, my Detroit Tigers is a bit worn out. So also they give me a mug. Morning coffee. Lovely. Fantastic. Anyhow, so I put it out there. So I thought we'd just do a few more thoughts on what people think to the app. So, by the way, I used it again during the week. I had to do Latham's, which is like a wood thing. Again, 8 drops, 1 return, which is dead handy because then you can put the fact that it's a return in. I actually put it second to last because it was kind of, last one was, they were all UB and SL except for one, which was Harrow. And I'm not going to go from Harrow and then back to UB and then back up to Leighton again. Leighton Buzzard days. Not Leighton Buzzard, sorry, Hill Hempstead. So I can actually put that one in as a time, like, you know, and it, bang, it's easy. It's just easy, it just works. So anyway, let's see what you guys think. Domain name guy says, he says, optimising a city stroke town centre, you won't compete with the A to Z between your ears because of bollards, certain roads that close at certain times. He said, okay, on long routes, you know, when you've got distance between them, but if you've got lots of little drops, that's all well and good. Except for the fact that if you're going to be picking up like the Amazon mob, or if you're picking up like I was on Parcel Force, 70, 80 parcels, there's no way you can keep 70, 80 drops in your head. You guarantee you'll do an area, you'll do another area, you'll go to another area and you'll go, oh, there's one that I was supposed to drop at my first area, and you'll go back again. So yeah, maybe, although, was it one of you guys turned around, I think it was Steve C or something like that, I forget who said it now, and he said, I thought I knew my local area like the back of my hand. No, he said it saved me time. So, but you guys can try it. You can try it for 7 days for free. You can try it, if you're doing less than 10 drops, it's free. You know, try it. If you don't like it, don't use it. That's the way I look at it, like, you know, but it's out there if you want. I'll do a little link so you can go to the webs, you can go to the, what do you call it? The end screen, you got the website, you can go follow it by the website. I mean, try it if you want, you know, it's out there. Chris C says he's falling out of love with Waze. He says a few times now it's taken him to the wrong place. A back alley. He said Google Maps seems to be the way forward. Again, I'm not harping on about it with a circuit thing. You can choose whichever one you want. You can do Waze, you can go Synergy, you can go Google Maps, go wherever you like. Though I've had it a few times. I don't know if it's Google Maps, but I think it was Google Maps that used to say you've arrived at your destination and I'm actually on a dual carriageway. And I'm like, presumably the building I want is there, but I'm on a dual carriageway. I'm going to have to go now to the next junction, turn around again. To me, there's 6 one half dozen the other. I'm still using Waze a lot. One of you said, how am I getting on with Road Lord Truckers? Road Lords is all right, but the problem is a couple of times, I've got it programmed up for a 7.5 tonne, and a couple of times it hasn't, you know, sent me through width restrictions. Once, one of the bridges, Waze sent me through one bridge, tried to send me through Battersea Bridge, which I can't go under because I'm too high. And then, I thought, well, I'll go over Vauxhall Bridge. Vauxhall Bridge was shut. So I put it in a Road Lords going, okay, well, take me out of here. And it said, go over Vauxhall Bridge. And I'm like, chance, you don't even know that. So I think Shona, one of our early truck drivers, she said it never put her wrong, but she had it programmed for an 18 tonne. So what I'm going to do is when I get in the 18 tonne, hopefully in March when the test comes through, then I'll give it a proper test in a proper big truck. And then I'll give you an honest appraisal and I'll let you know if it's any good or not. But at the moment, I'm still using Waze. Waze, 99% of the time. The only thing is that there's something in Slough. I think it's Slough or somewhere. And it's got a very low... Where am I? somewhere in London, I can't remember where it is, it's kind of like suburbs, it's got a very narrow train line. And a lot of the bridges are really low. So you try and get the next one, you can't. You try and get the next one, you can't. And if I knew the area better on that one, but yeah, I suppose I probably should invest in a proper truck sat nav. But I'm really waiting until I get my test. And once I get my test and get in a big one, then see what the problems are, then address it then. I tend to, rather than try preempt problems, work out what a problem is and then work out a solution. I find it's cheaper that way. What else we got? Nasu Iowit says, yeah, was right. He was the guy who said his road was only good for you. Hope that answered your question, my friend. And Matthew McDonald said, he said, I wouldn't say it's the best. It's too dear. There are other ones out there that are cheaper. Well, this is true. But then I keep saying, Marks and Spencer's is dearer than Audi's. If you rock up in a Mercedes or a brand new, here's my Rolls Royce Phantom. No one turns around and says, oh, that's not the best car because it's too much money, do they? The way I look at it is this. If you're going to be paying anyway, I think the other one worked out because the other one you had to pay for as well. And I think that was like a tenner a month. And this one is like 20 quid a month. Then the difference is a tenner a month. In which case that divided is like 30p a day. It's like, and if you're going to be using it 5 times a week doing 80 drops, it's a no-brainer. But you've got to do you. Like I say, you can try it for free. So try it. You might go, I like it. I'm sticking with the other one, it's cheaper. And also if you're doing less than 10 drops, it's still better because the other one was only 8. But I'm not telling anybody what to do. You can try it for nothing, make your own mind up, use it, don't use it, the choice is yours. But in the meantime, I am going to plug it. Thank you very much to the people at Circuit for my t-shirt and my mug. Actually really good quality. Free stuff, nice. It's new to me. Anyhow, what else have we done this week? Staying out, yes. I went to Wales. Hey! This week I'm going to Norwich. Same principle. Up raving early. The Monday I've got Slough to Redditch again. Seems to come in every Monday morning. And then I've got MK8, which is Buckingham, which ain't too bad actually, straight down the M40, across to Norwich. And then it's either zoom home and sleep in my own bed, or if there's anything going from Norwich anywhere, anywhere where I've got a good chance of getting a job in the morning, I might take it, stay out again. But right, so we did one about staying out. Did you bring a letter from your mum? It was ridiculous. Watch the video, it's comical. Paul A. Bevan says, because he said about Village Inns being cheap, he says Village Inns took their deal off on the 14th of January. Premier Inns at the moment are £35, apparently. Yeah, I'd like to say, I'll come to that, someone asked me that. Gil 17. Now, Gil 17, yes, I like this, is my old mate Giles. When I was 18 years old, I went to Teesside Polytechnic to study public administration. Ask me why, I don't know. Well, I do know why, but it's a long story. And they threw 13 of us in a house together in this tiny little terraced house, and it was mental, House 5. And as a result of his channel, he's got back in contact with me. He's teaching languages or something in the International School in Geneva and doing a PhD. Right? Clever boy. Well done, Giles. Giles, thanks for watching. And he turned around and he said, because I turned up with a leftover pizza, didn't I? He said, it's very much the Kes way of life. And Kes was King Edward Square, right in the middle of Middlesbrough, House 5. Yes, mate. I remember Gigi's. Gigi's on Middlesbrough High Street. You'd rock out of the Student Union and you'd go to Middlesbrough High Street to Gigi's. They made the best pizza. Proper thin Italian pizza. You pick it up, the police would do that. Because it's proper pizza. You had to eat it. Not great big doughy crust. Absolutely lovely, and a steal. They like a pizza like £3. I love Middlesbrough. The people were nice, the place was brilliant, had a great vibe, and it was really cheap. It was good it was a good time. Arpad says, same as me, had exactly the same problem with the letter thing. He said, I booked at a Premier Inn, wrote a letter that said, to whom it may concern, job done. He says, hot shower, comfy bed, cheap minibar. It's like being on a mini holiday. I've got to say, the Holiday Inn Express didn't have a minibar, but I could go downstairs and I bought 2 bottles of, I think, Peroni. I said, 2 bottles of Peroni, please, because I thought I'm going to have a beer. Lovely. And the bloke said, £8.50. I went, okay. We learn as we go. Next time, I might just pop up to an off licence first. What do you think? Will they be cold? Presumably, if I go quickly, maybe. I could have walked to an off licence. There wasn't one in walking distance. Happy Client says, same problem in London. He said used to have the same problem in London. He said when they were presumably when we were running, I think it was just was that the first lockdown. he said, now I have a letter with me. B. Carroll says, surprised they still want them. He was one. So during the first lockdown, I need one everywhere. If I go into the Euro parts, everything, you got a letter. Now, I don't know if we're key workers anymore, because I think I heard on the news or I heard on the radio that we've now been downgraded from key workers to critical workers. But that's lorry drivers. But I presume that goes across all drivers. But you're still a critical worker, so it's not a problem. And stupidity, not a disability, flag this one up. This is great. He said apparently on the CX, on the if you go on the computer thing, they provided a letter. Which is signed by the Secretary of Transport. It's in the COVID section. I didn't even know they had a COVID section. But if you go online, if you log on to the CX, go to the COVID section, you can print out a letter from the Secretary of Transport that says you're a key worker or a critical worker. Just stick it in your cab. Well, no, if anyone ever says, you got a letter, I go, yep. I'm going to do it myself, actually, if I get around to it. Millet 650 says he loved the letter to yourself, but isn't staying out eating into your profit. And Tivio also Cornwall said, how much did it cost to stay out at night? Would you stay out again? Well, it cost 60 quid to stay out for the night, which is dearer than I would have liked. But it's been a long day. I started at 2. It was getting on for 4. And I was hoping to, if you stay out in a proper hotel, I think, or in proper bed, you get your own toilet, you get to get clean. I think you're more vibrant the next day, so you've actually got more chance of making money the next day. Having said that, if I knew what I knew now, I probably would have slept in the cab, driven home and tried to get one job when I'm back home, because I couldn't get a job coming home, which is why I've done one going out next week, because I sometimes think I can come across going, I'm in a lucky area, and I take it for granted that you'll always get a job every morning. Now, I got one job. I got Merthyr Tydfil to Chepstow. Didn't get anything else all day. I struggle with it. But would I stay out again? Well, yes. Because I've got a nice day lined up. I'm going to rock up to Norwich now. If I can get Norwich to Manchester for decent money, I will. I'll run out of driving hours, or Norwich to Leeds, dropping off the next day. I'll do it if the money's in it. But only if the money's in it. Failing that, there's always the truck to sleep in. If you want to sleep in a truck for free, if you can find yourself a decent lay-by, get the night heater on, get the bed down. That's something else I want to come to. Where'd I put that? I want to do one down here. Best vans for tramping. Now, thanks everyone for there's a few comments. B. Carroll, a few people on there. Poor trick. Thanks very much for your comments. I want to do a video on vans for tramping, and I'm going to save that to one side if that's all right. So I haven't forgotten yet. It's safely in the book. Need a new one then. I did, however, said that. I've done a couple of Mickey Mouse ones. Vans and lorries on the telly. I did. Now, there's a few other things I wanted to say about this. Where's my pad? Hold on a second. Yeah, that was it. There was another one we watched. I like the guy. Everyone seen that Ken Loach film, Sorry I Missed You? It's a good film. It's about a guy and he's down his luck and he sells a wife's car and buys a van and he's doing the multi-drop and he's doing all right. He's like top man, but he's got a bit of trouble with the grief with the son, and he has to go in one day and tell the bloke that I can't come in today, or he misses a drop. And the bloke turns around and he says, yeah, well, that's coming up. He says, oh, well, you've missed the day. I've had to call another driver in. That's going to cost you 200 quid. You had an essential passport drop that had to be dropped between 11 and 12, and you dropped it at 1. That's going to cost you 250 quid. And I'm thinking, never heard that. I've heard, the customer says it was damaged or it was broken and they're taking 10 quid or 40 quid or something like that. But the figures that were being bandied around was ridiculous. So if you guys are out there and you're doing that, let me know if that is true. But I think that's kind of dramatic. But as for all the other stuff, like loading up a Dalek, I actually Googled how much a Dalek weighs. It said 40 pounds. It's 2 foot high. I thought, no, it's not. No, that's not the Dalek. The Dalek's a creature inside. It's a Dalek travel machine. That's 6 foot and that weighs 140 pounds. Still get out of the tail lift easy, no trouble. I actually can't believe I'm saying these words out loud. I'm actually Googling this nonsense. I said it's like in a full Monty. When they're sitting there watching Flashdance and he's going, that wheel will never hold. Look, she spotted that all wrong. Anyhow, so what? Again, your take on it, please. Paddy McGurr says it's like listening to you. It's like listening to Grandad. During the war, it's like when I was on the market. Yeah, it is starting to become a bit of a phrase, isn't it? Really? Yeah. Sorry about that. The Lost Scotsman says I hate it on the TV when the media describe Luton's vans as trucks. On the news, and a man turned up in a truck, and I'm sure he's sitting there going, "That ain't a truck. It's not a truck. Hasn't got tacho. Don't need a special license to drive that, do you? Chris C, he says, I hate scientific inaccuracies in movies. He says, like, apparently this did make me smile as well. NASA get their new recruits to watch Armageddon and list the inaccuracies in it. That's the Bruce Willis film where they send a load of mining engineers to an asteroid to mine it and blow it up so it doesn't destroy the world. Surely it would have made an awful lot more sense to send some astronauts to an asteroid, but teach them how to mine. Because it's probably more difficult to learn how to be a miner than it is to become an astronaut. Now, I'm not belittling how these are the top miners in the world and how difficult it could be to do like a deep drill miner. But like I say, I've got my mate Kieran. He's doing fighter pilot training. He's one of Molly's mates from the skater park. And the stuff that these guys have to go through, you would not believe it. They black out all the time. They've got, you know, the things, they've got these suits that are pushing blood because they're doing like 9 Gs. And I presume that that's nothing in comparison to space. I know there's no Gs in space, but you've got to get there in the first place. But yeah, that did make me laugh as well. Lee Allen says, read the Doctor Who scenario. He said that truck was a black top of the range 750 SI Scania. It was lovely. It was a very nice looking truck. Of course, I don't know 6 axles, but I'm getting there, and I'm looking at, and I did think, wow, there's a few quid in that one. And he says about. Oh, he said, yeah, he went on to, yeah, I remember this now. He said, everybody's favourite truck to film is Convoy. Well, Convoy was the one, wasn't it, really? Breaker 19, Rubber Duck. Smoking the Bandit, of course, which was pleasing, although kind of, you really liked Burt Reynolds in The Firebird more than the geezer with the soppy dog. I mean, Burt Reynolds got the girl, the geezer with he had a great big truck, but you know, when you was a kid, I always wanted to be Han Solo, not Luke Skywalker. Smoking the Bandit, didn't want to be the truck driver. Wanted to be the guy on the Firebird. And he says, and I love this, he says, I used to watch this be a show on when we were kids, when I was kids, called BJ and the Bear. Yeah, BJ McKay and his best friend Bear. And I think the bear was like, it was kind of based on Every Which Way But Loose. I think the bear was an orangutan or something like that. And he would just drive around in his truck and he had like this pet ape. But he had a foghorn on a chain. And he used to go like a brr, brr. One day, it will be mine. I've had a foghorn, I've had a train horn, but I've never had one on a chain. I've had it on a button. What else we got? Oh, and Harper Valentine, my mate, he's got his own channel out there, Harper Valentine. Could use some subscribers if you can, guys. He says Daleks apparently have an insane density. He said the old ones couldn't climb stairs, but the new ones can fly. So theoretically, if you can fly out the new one, you can fly on and off the truck. He said I can't watch anything without counting how long the driver looks at the passenger. He said the general rule is 7 seconds. So you're driving along, you're having a conversation like this. Presumably that's like in them 70s ones where you've got the funny backdrop. I've got better at that stuff now, I think. Right, that's kind of it for videos, and now we're on to miscellaneous. This week's miscellaneous, we have Ganesh Bashira. He says, do you quote VAT when you quote on a job? I'm surprised. I thought there was a video on this. I'll do one for you. I'll get it out next week, Janice, and I'll clear everything up because that's important, that one. Tifioso Cornwall, ever thought of employing a lad to do the lifting? It's another one of them things, like certain jobs on the exchange must be a flatbed, must be a fridge, must have ADR, does require 2 men. They do come up. And if they come up, you'll get better money for them, but they don't come up all the time, which means there's a good chance you might get 2 of them or 1 of them a week, in which case you're employing someone to sit in a cab. Most of my stuff is forked on and forked off by, a full truck, obviously. You know, it's palletised on and off. When I first started in the truck, I thought, my God, what have I let myself in for? There's just as much handball. That was just day one. Since then, very, very rarely handball. You rock up, you open the curtains, they fork it on, they fork it off. Presumably, if it's in a van, might be a different kettle of fish there. So, BTH, he says, my medium wheelbase sprinter is 2.3 metres load length. I've had this all the time. I've got this because we've got Ken running with us at the moment because I'm trying to show him what it's like just in case. And he says that on his paperwork, he's in a Luton with a 3 metre box. And he said, but it's listed as a medium wheelbase. I said, look, all you can do is put the length of your van on your CX. So when it comes up, it says it. And then when you get the job, Or when you quote for the job, put in the notes, my van is this long. Then the shipper will know. But in my mind, it's always a general rule of thumb, short wheelbase, 1 pallet, medium wheelbase, 2 pallets, that's 2 metres. Long wheelbase, 3 pallets, 3 metres, extra long wheelbase, 4 metres. Because I said there isn't anything longer than an extra long wheelbase. But apparently there are some custom vans out there that are even longer still. I've never seen them. So otherwise the thing just doesn't really work. But that's just, again, please, comments. We'll try and get to the bottom of this. It'd be nice if the CX clearly up, but hey. If you're watching out there, guys, leave a comment. That'd be interesting. See one from you. What else we got? Paul A. Bevan. He said, yeah, this comes up all the time. A job on the CX going from Heathrow to Edinburgh. Urgent. Can't co-load. Pays £200. It's 400 miles. No, it doesn't. I look at them all the time and I go, and they'll go, we need 10 pallets to move. And do you know what gets me as well? When it's not now. It's pick up at 11 o'clock. Pick up at 11 o'clock. So you think, well, I can't do anything all morning because if my job goes sideways and I'm going to be late for your job and you ain't going to be happy. Dropping at 1 o'clock, backload. That's not a backload. That's not a backload. Backload is picking up any time today, dropping off over there any time in the next 2 days, can co-load it if you like. But the truth of the matter is when it says pays or pays this, you quote what you're happy with. And if they go, well, I aren't paying that, don't pay it. Get some other idiot to do it. Or just sit there going, if I said, okay, I've got a job moving 20 pallets from London to Edinburgh, it pays £1. Anybody want it? You just sit there, it's just a job, we just sit there because no one's going to do it. It's just nonsense. What else we got here? Domain name guy, new to the channel. Hello, mate. He says, we're talking about the lorries. He said the Mitsubishis and the Isuzus, 7.5 tonnes, can carry more weight because obviously the cab doesn't weigh as much because it's a Mickey Mouse cab. And they can get down narrow lanes because they're obviously a lot thinner, but they're very uncomfortable. Yeah, the amount of drive hours that we do, one of the things I did like about climbing in the lorry is I've got more space around me. I've got space behind me, I can put stuff around here, it's all lovely. And if I get into a bigger truck, I'm going to have even more space still. Also from the point of view of the customer, when they book a 7.5 tonne, and I've had it before where they've sent me in because they sent in one 7.5 tonne, and the firm that were loading up this great big server it was, like for the computery things, and they looked at it and they went, no, it's not going on that. That's ridiculous. We wanted a truck. We didn't want a souped-up van, so they had to send that one in and bring me in. And of course, I've rocked up. You know what it is? It's a DAF. It's a truck. It's a baby truck, but it's a truck. And they went, well, that's more like it. So yeah, sometimes from the point of view of customer confidence, they want to see something that looks like it can do the part. And I'm sure that the Isuzus and Mitsubishis can do the part, but mine is just a little bit Tonka-toyish, isn't it? Godzilla's, he says, on overload, because he said, I should clear this one up now. He's in one of those unfortunate situations. He said, I should clear this up. He said, I'm giving around 45 stops a day of a manifest of between 980 and 1,200 kilos. He said, he said, a lot of the time, I'm overloaded for the first few stops. And he says, I'm not happy about this, but I'm kind of stuck at the moment. He also said, part of the problem is customers lie about their weights. So say, for example, they've got gym equipment. They'll mention the bars, but they won't mention all the weights that go on top of them. So it says it's 20 kilos, but actually it's 60 kilos. Because if not, you won't take it. So they kind of, we'll just tell them that, I'll be fine, no one will clock it So, yeah, it's not ideal in any way, shape or form. He says, but on the flip side of things, he said, sometimes I accidentally leave a few behind. So presumably those customers come and start 20 kilos. Don't think so. Oh dear, must have forgot that one. So I'm right, eh? Lee Allen, he says the LF15 plates upwards have a gear stick on the dashboard. Yeah, I know that was weird as well when I went from my first, when I used to drive the LT35s, the old ones. They were weird. They had reverse gear in first position. So first was here, second, third, fourth, fifth, and along and up for first. And no one has along and up for first now. That's for reverse. But with a gear stick that big. It's only a thin metal one, but it was that big. And then it's like when I moved from the Sprinters, I went from a gear stick here to a gear stick here. Nice. Yeah, I'm sure. Like I say, someone asked me the question. They said, would you go for an auto or would I go for, Guy phoned me during the week. And he said, would you go for an auto or would you go for, I think that was Welsh Chris actually. Or like a stick. And I said, it's a tricky one. Because doing all this with your knee when you're stuck in traffic is a pain. But having said that, sometimes changing gear is fun. Just go, and you go like that, it's fun. But I think if I had exactly the same trucks, both in front of me, both identical, one was automatic and one was manual, and they said to me, which one do you want? I think I'd take the automatic. Having said that, I'm probably going to take my test in an automatic, so I'm going to have about 6-7 hours driving in an automatic. I can make my mind up then, can't I? See which one I prefer. Trucker Chris says, stay away from man. He said the gearboxes are rubbish. Chances are I probably will. Chindu Maduk, I think, I'm sorry, I've probably said that wrong, sorry mate. The extra long wheelbase Luton in a Luton area, what can I take home? Right, Chindu, again, there's a video going out for you on Monday. It was inspired by someone else, but the long and short is there's too many imponderables, but it's got my number on it. If you want to ring me, I'll have a personal conversation with you. I did it with a couple of guys this week. They rang me up. One's I think it's Mickey's down in Bournemouth, and I spoke to another guy. Can't remember the situation. I speak to people on a daily basis. Look, if you want to ring me, my number's there. I'll talk to you and I'll give you an honest opinion. And you do what you do at the end of the day, but at least you can ask me questions. And if you've got any worries or concerns, rather than have to try and glean it all from the video, I talk to people. I don't mind. And if I don't answer the phone, it's probably because I'm unloading. But I'll leave a message. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. The video going out next week. Lee Westcott wondered if you could join the CX, but you don't actually own vehicles. There are firms out there, big firms, that don't own any vehicles. They're shippers. The thing is, the way I see it, and I could be wrong about this, and as I've said before, a lot of stuff that goes out on my channel is wrong, or at least largely inaccurate. So please take it all with a pinch of salt. You need one of two things to join the CX. You either need a van, or you need customers. And these two people marry up against each other. So if I've got a load of customers that want a load of pallets moving on a daily basis, but I've got no vans, I join the CX. And every time one of my customers rings me, I put the job on the CX. Don't ever need a van. All I need is a laptop. Job done. Bedroom shipper. Laptop, that's it. Desk, bosh, ready to go. But you need your own customers. And finding your own customers is like hen's teeth. Or you need a van or some vans. And that way, when the job comes up, you go, I can do that, I can do that. We have both. We have 3 lorries and at the moment 1 van. And we're trying to grow it. And we have about 3 or 4 customers, which we're trying to grow. Ideally, I want both because I want my customers to be served by my vans because that way I know that it can't go wrong. Or if it does go wrong, I'm bang on top of it. I know the guy, I know where he is, I know where he was before, I know where he's going, I know if he hasn't turned up in the morning. I prefer it that way. But because you kind of use the CX, because sometimes one of our customers will ring up and they'll go, I want a job coming from Bournemouth to Leighton Buzzard, because that's where they're based. I'm not driving a van all the way down to Bournemouth to bring it back to Leighton Buzzard. It doesn't make sense. I'll get someone down in Bournemouth on the CX to drive it all the way back. But yes, you don't need any vans. You either need customers or vans. Ideally, you would like both. I think. Steve Campbell. Hello, Steve. All right, mate. You can, this is all to do with weight restrictions. You can go into a 7.5 ton area in an 18 ton because the area is no vehicles bigger than 7.5 tons except for access. So you can go in if you're picking up or dropping off. Bin lorries are 26 ton. And they drive around. I mean, I'm in a 7.5 ton area. And this is ironic, actually. Where I park my lorry, every single road leading into it is no vehicles bigger than 7.5 tons. Now, we've got one 7.5 ton. It's an operating base. I've got one 7.5 ton and 2 18 tons parked there. The guy next to me, my mate Giuseppe, has got about 5 Arctics, all stacked up. Boom, 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 boom. How they get in and out, I'm not sure. But if you get stopped and they go, where are you going? You go, I'm going over there. And there's no way I can get in other than going through one of these roads, and they're going to go fair enough. If you're driving through like a commercial, a high street, and you get stopped and they say, where are you going? And you're going from Luton to Leeds, and you're actually in Norwich, they're going to go, you don't need to be here, do you, mate? And then they're going to have you. So I think you're allowed to drive in as long as you can prove it. So that's it for another week, another Sunday Q&A. And finally, today's conclusion goes to Nigel Barrett. He says, the song that you're looking for is Sunshine on Leith by the Proclaimers. Mate, yeah, I know. I love that song. Have you ever watched the film? The film's actually quite good. It's called Sunshine Underneath. It's directed by Dexter Fletcher. It's a musical. I'm not a big fan of musicals. Musicals fit into two different categories. The ones where you go in a musical and they're just about music. You know, we went to see the Motown Story. That was good because it was the Motown Story. And then they say, and then they got this recording studio, and then they had Diana Ross. The guy who played Marvin Gaye was phenomenal. And then there's musicals where it's like a story, where you know, and there's a guy walking down the street, and he says, "Right, I'm going to buy some shoes. I'm going to buy," and then they go, "He's going to buy some shoes. He's going to buy some. He's going to buy some shoes." Windows open. People going, "He's going to buy some shoes." I'd struggle. But having said that, Sunshine on Leith is that kind of musical, but it's good because it's got the songs of the Proclaimers in, and it's got Jane Horrocks in, and it's got a Scottish geezer I really like, whose name I can never remember. He was in one of the Ken Loach films. And it's a great song. And also, I've been to Leith. We've got a family up in Leith. My mate Barnes and Kenny, they live up there. Hello, boys. Miss you guys. They come down regularly. They're lovely fellas. And they went on holiday together, and they lent us their house. So me, Molly, that was when I was a skinhead. No chance. And we went up to Leith, and we went to see the Royal Yacht Britannia. Went and had a meal down in Witchery because my honeymoon was in Scotland, and it was nice. It was good. I like Leith, it's a nice place. So, in the meantime, that's it. Up bright and early tomorrow morning for me Slough pickup again. Kind of getting used to it now. But another week, it's getting brighter, getting warmer, hopefully getting closer to the end of another lockdown. Know what to do, guys. Take care, take money.